body of the blood around which the music of the angelic host in this 5th chapter of Revelation is gathered. The first word is redemption. For as much as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things such as silver and gold, but with the precious blood of Christ, a lamb without
Oh, okay. Go on then. I want to speak to someone who has knowledge about the subject matter. So if I problem more. Come on then. I want to speak to you. You know why I backed off?
Have you talked to me? Have you talked to me? Have you talked to me? Have you talked to me?
Now, let's talk about carbon dating.
Okay, au revoir. Au revoir. No, he's debating me. You know what they're talking about.
Talking to them.
He just ended the conversation.
No, he didn't.
He literally said, if you don't want to talk, that's fine. And then he went, oh, I don't want to talk to you.
I don't talk
He is a liar.
Don't talk to him. Knowing
Just relax, relax.
that I'm talking to.
No, I don't care. He's targeting Chris.
Just relax.
Talk to me.
Why
then.
can't you stay quiet?
Talk to me.
I'm answering the question this lady asked.
Yeah, I asked a question, yeah.
Right. So be patient. Don't interrupt when I'm talking.
Thank you.
Right. So the reason why I don't talk to this individual, because I know this individual doesn't even know the subject matter he wants to debate Muslims with. For example, he wants.
This is
I'm just telling you.
How to get out of it. How to get out of it.
You don't know even Ishaq, and you don't know even
Why is he
Katir.
interrupting? So let me tell you exactly the reason why. So you can only have a meaningful discussion with someone when we know what we're talking about. If I want to talk to you about something and you didn't know anything about it, I can't be able to have a meaningful discussion
Wait,
with
but you were asking her questions that she clearly isn't an expert in. You hypocrite. You absolute hypocrite.
I am not
You
saying
intentionally
you
ask
need
people
to
who
be-
don't know answers to his questions. Is she an
She's
expert?
saying that's right.
Did
Is
you
she an
notice,
expert?
as I'm trying to answer,
Absolute
he's
hypocrite.
interrupting. I am not saying I want you to be an expert.
Oh, okay.
Have a discussion.
Go on then. Have a chat with
I
me.
want you. I want to speak to someone who has knowledge about the subject matter. So if I
problem more. Come on then. Come on then.
I was talking to you.
Yeah, and you backed off.
You know why I backed off?
Because you have no idea what I was talking
At
about.
what point did you stop? Because you were crazy according to your admission. So exactly.
Mansur, let's compare the biblical manuscripts to the Islamic
No, I don't
manuscripts.
need to. So now, to complete my answer to you, without any interruption from crazy or non-crazy people. So once
Yeah, talk to me.
you know,
Debate me.
you see the problem.
You can walk away.
I'm trying to answer you, and you have.
That's your thing, not mine.
They said didn't follow the
Sorry. I'm answering your question. So once you identify someone doesn't have any knowledge of the subject matter, and he wants to debate, you know what a debate is? A debate is you want.
You know, because you
A
are someone who
debate
doesn't know.
is that you want
It's deception.
You wanna come
It's
forward?
deception. That's what it is.
It's
You
Islamic
are
deception.
not hearing the answer because of the interruption of your Christian
Debate me.
friends. The reason a debate is when you know the subject matter very well, sufficiently well enough to establish the truth of that matter. Not only.
Do you sufficiently know the subject matter so much you could debate
I
it?
wasn't debating you. I was having a
What?
discussion.
Oh no, it's not even a debate.
Look.
Oh,
He wants to debate.
debate me.
Look,
Debate me.
the reason why
Debate me.
you have to know
on.
the subject matter. You have to know. Listen.
Even she's telling you. Even she's telling you. She's telling you, Mansur. Listen to the lady, Mansur.
Did you hear what I said?
Mansur, listen to the.
Did you hear what I said? What did I say?
Stop talking to women. It's
So
haram.
how can look? If you know someone doesn't have knowledge in the subject matter, do you think it's wise to debate with these people? Because
This is what you're doing by coming up to this lady.
Do you
How
think
do you know
it's
he
wise?
doesn't know?
Good question. What if you know?
Ah, that's a good point. How do you know? How do you know?
Because of all his
Have you talked to
discussions
me?
so far.
Have you talked to me? 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 Have you talked to me?
Now let's talk about carbon dating.
Okay, au revoir. Au revoir.
Are you okay?
Have you done this very
Why are
quickly?
you talking to a girl about carbon dating?
So now I want to know whether you
Are
understand.
you going to talk about Islamic manuscripts?
Wait.
Wait.
So what we're doing, this debate is about establishing whether this individual, what's your name?
Manuscripts.
What's your name? Chris. whether the Chris is worth debating by anyone in the future from now on.
Yes,
Oh, right. So, wait. What I do now, I can never undo.
That means he's afraid of
I
you.
know, of course.
Hang on a minute.
He's afraid of
Whoa.
himself. He's trying to nullify all his debates.
He's trying to nullify it.
Right, people, it's okay.
This is what a coward
you
does.
guys must listen. Make sure you don't dare talk to this guy, because if you talk to this guy, your Islamic nonsense will be exposed.
I know. This is why he attacks character. He doesn't attack argument.
Exactly.
This is ad hominem, the example of a weak argument.
Exactly.
This is your da'i, guys. Why do you not have better? Why do you not have people who are knowledgeable, who are not afraid?
Exactly.
This
Why
man has
don't
been
you
running
debate
from me
Jay
for
Smith,
months.
huh?
Why would he debated Jay Smith? He got destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. This man had to admit that there are different Qurans. This man had to admit there's different Qira'at and they have different meanings. Let's debate it. Let's debate the Qira'at.
Carbon
I'm so
dating
glad
of
that
manuscripts.
took me away
Let's
from
debate
him.
I
Qira'at.
know for sure this individual called Chris doesn't know anything about the subject. Now, tell me the principles of carbon dating.
What is this in relation
What
to?
is
Make
it
your argument.
relevant for?
Manuscripts of the
Make
text.
your argument.
Manuscripts of the Bible
let
and
me
the
put me in
Quran.
there.
So, you put it into one. So now, what are the principles of carbon dating?
Okay, so carbon dating is a method. Is when you analyze the carbon that is present in the material or in ink, and you see exactly how long it's been since those carbons, the carbon has gone from that particular object, right? So from the parchment or from the ink. So that's a process by which we can have a rough estimate as to when something is dated by. So for example, the Birmingham portfolio has been carbon dated between, say, around 570, and 645. That's a problem for Muslims. That's a problem for Muslims because that means if you take the median average, which is a common, practice in this, which is a common thing that you do in academia.
I have to leave, guys, so I just want to say one thing, just one thing. If you
No,
confess with your mouth, Jesus is Lord,
Then
and
you go to
believe in your
hell.
heart,
Then you go to hell.
Then you will be
Yes, then you
saved.
go to hell.
Then you will be saved.
Then you go to
I
hell.
thought you believed in Jesus. I thought you believed in Jesus.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. I apologize. Why do we choose the BP from the 1950s when we talk about carbon monoxide? Why is the year 1950 chosen for BP? Do you know what BP is in relation to carbon dating?
I'm talking about the Islamic manuscripts of the Birmingham portfolio.
I am talking about the principles of carbon dating. So now, within these principles, we choose the year 1950 as a BP. Now, tell me what that means.
You haven't addressed what I've said.
Look, we are addressing
Can you
how
address what
much
I just
knowledge
said?
you have on the
I
subject
literally
matter.
just went on and on
Wait.
about what the
Press,
Birmingham
press.
portfolio is.
I am not
Birmingham
talking
portfolio
about
is
the
Surah
Italian
18,
manuscript.
Surah 19, Surah
Right.
20.
Press,
Yes?
listen.
Now, I'm telling you about
Listen, Toto.
I'm telling you
Listen.
about radio carbon dating
Stop.
of the Birmingham portfolio.
Stop.
You won't let
We
me speak.
are talking about the principles of radiocarbon dating. So you need to know what the principles are. So let me ask you again. First question. Why did we choose the year 1950 when it comes to BP years?
What is the relevance of this?
Because that will demonstrate whether you know about carbon dating or
I
not.
literally just described what it is. I gave
tell
an
me.
example of
Okay,
it. I
so
told you the scholarly reference
if
of a
you
carbon
are-
dating of the Birmingham
listen,
portfolio. I told you
Chris.
it's Surah 18, 19, 20. I
Chris.
told you the median reading range of that is 610. That's a scholarly average that you take. That would mean that the revelation was revealed around the same time of the Hira cave.
stop.
That would contradict the Islamic narrative.
Stop, Chris.
That would mean Islam is wrong.
Stop.
There. Do you want to know more? I just quoted
Listen,
scholarly
Chris.
material
Listen,
and
Chris.
it's not enough.
Chris, and those of you listening.
This is
my
what you do when you
specific-
attack character.
My specific question to someone who thinks he knows about carbon dating, my question to you,
Just debate what I'm saying. I'm not here for a lecture. I'm not here for a lecture,
I'm
bro.
going to
Just
ask him,
I made an argument. Respond to my argument.
Chris,
Respond to my argument.
this
Respond to my
debate,
argument.
my sister in humanity, is to establish whether this gentleman called Chris knows about the subject matter.
I don't need to jump through hoops for your
My
personal.
question number one,
desire.
I repeat again. Why did we choose 1950 as a year, and what does BP mean?
Why is the dating of the Birmingham portfolio averaged to around 610? Why?
Okay, so he doesn't know
That's
the
that's the actual crux
Now,
of the
if
issue.
anyone knew anything about carbon dating,
Go on then.
they would know what BP means. Do you know what BP means?
Bro,
Do
I'm
you
not,
know?
I'm not here for your lecture.
Do you know
I'm
what
not
BP
here-
means?
No,
Does he know what BP
listen,
means?
this is an attack on character.
Oh,
I have not
I
attacked his
want to
character.
do-
He attacks my character.
He's Googling.
He does
Look,
not know.
He's Googling to tell him. Okay.
Answer my question. Answer my question. I told you,
Right.
and I spoke for a few minutes about the Birmingham
My
portfolio.
next question.
You addressed my argument.
To know whether
Still
this
hasn't addressed
gentleman,
it.
okay, The next question to understand whether he knows about carbon dating is to talk about the 1 sigma and 2 sigma variations. What are the differences between 1 sigma
I
and 2
just
sigma?
told you, using the method of carbon dating,
What is the difference
scholars
between
have told
1 sigma
us
and 2 sigma?
that the Birmingham portfolio, which is sort of 1890
Hello?
to 20,
Chris,
he won't address
What
what I'm
is the
saying.
difference?
He doesn't
Why
care.
not just what he said?
He knows that his scholars
what
have
is
shown the
difference
Birmingham portfolio
between
contradicts
1
Islamic
sigma
narrative.
and 2 sigma?
The Uthmanic Codex is completely destroyed as a narrative because of the Birmingham
You know what?
portfolio and the radiocarbon dating.
I think- you
You
know what?
have a massive
You know what?
problem, and he won't address it
Chris.
because he has to attack me.
Chris,
Look how many
Intelligent
times he
Chris.
attacks me,
Look,
and how many
I asked
times he
him,
attacks my
how many
arguments.
questions- how many times have I asked him questions? 2 questions. In terms of understanding someone's knowledge base about radiocarbon dating,
We know it's quite a lot,
One second.
Thank you.
Very
No, no.
basic.
Ah, thank you, I
The
appreciate
very
that.
basics of radiocarbon dating. He should know what
Did
1
you study
sigma.
it? Did you study it?
Wait,
Did you study it?
Anyone,
Did you study it? Do you have a degree in
anyone-
it? Do you have a degree in it?
Anyone, you don't need a degree.
He
or
won't let me
PhD.
finish.
You don't need a degree.
Oh, you don't agree? Oh, wait. Oh, no, so we're on the same level. Right, great. Anyway, the Birmingham portfolio.
Listen.
You won't answer my
Chris,
question.
Chris,
You won't answer my question.
Chris,
You won't answer
you
my
know what
question.
this debate is about?
Do you know what palimpsest
No,
is?
it's about
Do you know
you
what
getting
palimpsest
off
is?
the topic.
Do
you
you
know
know
what
what this
palimpsest
debate is
is?
about?
Do you know what
I agreed
palimpsest is?
to debate for 5 minutes to demonstrate.
To attack my
whether-
character.
No, not character.
To attack my
Whether
character.
you know about the
Ad
subject
hominem
matter.
is an example of a fallacious argument.
What
This
have I
man
attacked him?
demonstrates
Excuse
it
me. What have I
beautifully.
attacked him? What did I say about him? In person?
Changing the subject.
Excuse
He
me.
won't
What
address
did
what I
say?
say.
What's
What is a
am about to
palimpsest?
demonstrate
What's a palimpsest?
whether he knows about the
Let's
subject.
have a debate. Have a debate.
What is a palimpsest?
Have a debate.
What's the topic?
So now, firstly,
Yeah.
What is a
no,
palimpsest?
it is a debate about whether you know about the subject.
He knows.
I literally just told you. I told you, dude. I just gave you. The Birmingham portfolio, discovered in 2015. Yes,
you know,
it's currently
you answered
hosted
it.
in Birmingham.
My
Is a
final
copy of
question.
Surah 18, 19,
My
and
final
20.
question to establish.
What's a palimpsest? What is a palimpsest? Tell me.
You ignore
No, you tell me.
me.
What's a palimpsest?
Listen, Chris.
Tell me now.
No.
Let's see if he knows.
The debate
What's a
was
palimpsest?
me asking you questions.
Oh, if I ask him, he won't tell
It
me.
wasn't. It's a debate. No.
Now hear me
What's a
out.
palimpsest?
Hear me
What's
out.
a palimpsest?
My final question. My
What is
final.
it?
Listen.
He doesn't know the subject matter,
My
guys.
final
He doesn't
question.
know what a palimpsest is.
If I didn't
You
know
see
the
how
subject matter,
silly
why
that
are you so
is?
interested to
It's
talk
an
to me?
attack of character.
Look, if I didn't know the subject matter, why would someone be foolish to talk to me then?
Because you're an idiot,
What are you
and people will
talking
refute you
about?
easy.
Look,
What's the topic?
now that's not ad hominem. That's not
No,
insulting
I'm not saying your
character.
argument is wrong. I'm saying you're an idiot.
Okay, he's just calling me an idiot, right? And we have now a
He's
Christian
done it like
apologist.
20 times to
Wannabe,
me.
Yeah, but
I
you
get
weren't
one at
listening
him.
to
he
either.
wants to debate with idiots. Wow.
You're
No,
not-
I
you're
want to
not
debate the very
debating
best.
him.
All right.
Are you a man of knowledge on this topic? Are you a man of
My
knowledge?
final question.
Are you a man of knowledge? Are you a man of knowledge?
Chris, my final question.
What do you want to debate?
My
Wait,
final
wait,
question.
wait, wait.
My final question to you. Are
You've
you
never
listening?
answered a single one
Are
of
you
my
listening to
questions.
my final question?
You can't debate me, can you?
Are you
You're
listening to my final
terrified of
question?
debating me.
My final question
You're
is,
terrified of debating me.
when it comes to
This is your day.
when it comes to dating of manuscripts, do we take the mean, median, or average?
What is a palimpsest?
I'm asking you the question.
We're not asking these
Look, guys,
questions.
is this what you want? Is this really what you want? Or do you want an actual argument? Do you want an actual
I'm
argument?
gonna stop.
You
not
won't
being
Do
debate.
you know Jay Smith made the blunder, and he's going to learn from him?
You've
right?
made blunders.
Right.
This man has been on camera and said no Quran differs letter by letter, word by word. That's a
So when
lie,
it comes
and
to-
he knows it's a
okay,
lie.
So when
You want
it
to talk
comes
about it?
to
Let's talk about the Qur'an.
radiocarbon dating.
Let's talk about the Qur'an.
When it comes to the
When you talk about
radiocarbon
this, when you
dating,
talk about this.
do we take
What's
the
a
mean,
palimpsest?
the median,
What's a
the
palimpsest?
average? What do we take?
What's a palimpsest?
All the merits of palimpsest.
So have
He
you heard
wasn't, no. There you are. There you are then. There you are.
5
They
minutes
use
over.
trickery
One
and they
second.
target those who are new to the corner.
Excuse me.
This is the example of the Da'i.
Chris,
You won't engage with me.
did you answer any of my questions?
Did you answer any of mine?
Yeah, it's true. You never ask these questions.
I literally gave you an argument
Do
and you were
you,
like,
do,
no.
do you want me to answer your questions?
Right, yeah, here we go.
Good.
First one,
Before
what's a
you, no,
palimpsest?
stop. Before you do that, remember what we agreed on? I said.
I never agreed to anything.
Okay,
I just
no,
said I
no,
wanted to debate
wait.
you.
Before I debate anyone, I try to establish whether the person knows the subject matter or not. Did I
Right.
not say that to you?
Really?
You did say that.
And did you come to the conclusion she's an expert?
And then,
Did you come to the conclusion?
stop, don't interrupt. And then, I said, the reason why I don't want to debate Chris is because he doesn't know the subject matter. Did I say that?
What's the subject?
You're
Thank
attacking
you.
my
I said,
character.
right.
I'm not addressing the
and then what I
argument that I
said,
made.
now let us debate for 5 minutes
Okay, we
to
haven't
establish.
debated.
We haven't debated.
debated.
No, we haven't even debated. You just
Be
said.
fair. What did I say? I'm going to
Why
establish.
is You didn't
Do you remember what I said? It's all
I have
in
no
tape.
idea about
I
anything, I
said,
think.
I am going to establish whether Chris knows about the subject matter.
Why
Did I
don't you
not say
just
that?
destroy me in
Did I not
debate?
say that?
Why don't you just debate me?
Did I not say that?
Yeah, but you're not debating.
Hang on. Did I not say that? Yes, I did. So now I
don't
asked him
shout,
3
don't
questions. Hang on, please. Sorry, I apologize. I asked him 3 questions to establish whether he knows the subject matter. I asked him about BP and 1950. Yeah, 1950.
What's a palimpsest?
No.
What's a palimpsest?
Look. I asked him that. Then I asked him.
You don't want to know about
Stop.
Who knows the most terminology?
Hang on.
That's the argument.
Stop. It's not my argument.
Wait, by your logic then, if you
And
can't
then I
answer the
asked him,
question, you run out of
what is the
personal
difference
knowledge.
between 1 sigma and 2 sigma? The third question I asked him, when it comes to dating,
Why
You're
are you debating the girl, man? Stop debating the girl.
and when it comes to
Stop.
dating,
Stop running, man.
do we take, okay,
Stop running away from the debate.
answer my 3 questions and I'll answer yours.
No, I'm not playing this. Answer these 3 questions about technical
Answer my 3
terms.
questions and I'll
I
answer
gave
yours.
you a technical term.
Look, I will
Answer my
answer his
technical.
questions
Go on then. What's a
if
palimpsest?
he answers
What's a
my 3
palimpsest?
questions first.
Right, his argument is because I can't give an answer for a technical definition, therefore I'm not willing to debate it. I gave the same to you, he also can't meet it.
Not
By his
definitions.
same logic, he
Look.
himself is not worthy of debating this topic.
Chris, I said to all the cameras, I will, God willing, answer his questions only provided that he answers
Fact,
my
he never will.
Tell us the
Fun fact, he never
So
will.
now answer the question number 1.
No, you answer my
Why
question.
do
What
we
is a
use
palimpsest?
1950 year?
What is a palimpsest?
Hang on. I said I will answer.
Answer now.
No, I will answer only if you answer mine.
Stop waffling.
Do you know that? Okay,
I don't care.
do you
don't know what a
know
palimpsest
the
is.
answer to my
Because that's
question?
not essential to my argument.
Do you know the answer to
I'm
my
not
question?
interested in attacking your character. I'm interested
Do
in
you know the answer to my
Why are
question?
you only interested in attacking my character?
I haven't attacked your character.
You literally said, I don't think he's even worth debating. Here's how I'm going to evaluate that he's not even worth debating.
Do you know the
That's an
subject
attack
matter?
on me.
Do you know the subject matter?
Why don't you just debate me?
What do you want to debate
Do you know
about?
the subject?
You were running
Do you know
away.
the subject?
I did after he said this to me on many times.
Do you know the principles of radiocarbon dating?
Listen, I want to debate
Do you
you.
know the principles of radiocarbon
You know what a
dating?
palimpsest is?
I'm asking you, Chris. You are not asking me what I know. I'm asking you what you know.
Yeah, because heaven forbid I ask you a question as well, and then people realise you
the
don't know
dispute is
either.
whether you know the subject matter. or
Mate,
not.
Mansur is going to go home and he's going to Google what a palimpsest is.
Chris, do you know the principles of radiocarbon dating?
Why don't you debate me?
Want to have a debate
Do you know
or
the
not?
principles of radiocarbon dating?
Hey, Mansur, you want to have a debate or not?
So now you don't know. Okay, I'm making a claim. He doesn't
What a
know.
palimpsest is.
He doesn't know what a BP
You
here
don't
is.
know what a palimpsest is. What's a palimpsest?
Does he know what?
What's a palimpsest?
Does he know the principles?
This is Dawa. Welcome to Dawa.
Because this discussion and debate was about whether Chris even knows about the subject matter. So he
And I
needs to
literally read
demonstrate
off
that.
about the Birmingham portfolio, about when it was discovered, about what sorrows it was, about the fact that
Do you know the principle? Do you know the principle?
You go according to scholars.
So now,
Mansur, you have no idea.
evidently clear.
You have no idea.
Evidently clear.
You have no idea.
That he doesn't know anything.
This is us. Convince Steve. You might convince Steve. Debate me. This is how I know you will never debate me because you will never ever win a debate.
Answer my question.
You will never win a debate. What's the
Answer
palimpsest?
the question.
You will never win a debate.
Answer the question.
You have demonstrated you don't have knowledge, and you have demonstrated you are afraid of debate. If you weren't, you would have just debated me.
I am
I've given him every opportunity. Every opportunity. He won't answer. It's gone, man. It's just gone. It's just gone.
You're gonna go.
That's a Da'i. That's a top Da'i. We got Lamin here. We got Mansur here. Do you want to get Hashim? Get Hashim. Get Hashim. Wait a minute. You ran away from me, you liar. You ran away from me. Yes.
Did I say to you? Are you listening?
Yes.
Did I say to you, I will answer your questions only once
What's
you
the point of
answer
this?
my question?
I literally gave you an
haven't got a
introduction
clue about
to
radiocarbon
Birmingham
dating.
portfolio. I told you the
haven't got a
source.
clue
I
about
told you the
radiocarbon
fact of how the
dating.
material or the ink is dated based on the levels of carbon. It gives you an approximation of when the
who knows about
actual
radiocarbon
object came
dating-
about.
Listen.
We're addressing it.
Okay.
He
Anyone who
waffles.
knows about radiocarbon dating should know the difference
Give
between
us a
1
lecture.
sigma and 2 sigma.
Someone-
What is the difference? What is the
What does
difference?
that have to do with Islam?
Chris,
Oh, sorry, mate.
what is the difference between 1 sigma and 2 sigma?
What's a palimpsest? Alright, sorry, let me get it.
Anyone who is sincere and genuine and knowledgeable about the subject matter of carbon dating, you shouldn't say, yeah, let me tell you about 1 sigma and 2 sigma. The 1 sigma
Anyone
is-
who's sincere about the same topic would know what a palimpsest is, so answer.
Listen,
Answer.
are you trying to ascertain my knowledge on the subject, or am I trying to ascertain your knowledge?
I'm trying to ascertain yours as well as you're trying to ascertain
No,
mine.
the debate
Because I
wasn't
think
for
you don't know
that.
anything.
The
You won't
debate
debate.
we started from, watch the tape. The
You have been
debate we
called
started
out because
to
you
see
know you target
whether
those
you
who
know
don't
the
know
subject
what they're
matter.
talking
Chris,
about. You target those who are new in the faith.
Chris,
You don't go for people who are knowledgeable.
Chris,
That's not
when
good,
it
man.
comes to radiocarbon
Shameful.
dating,
Shameful.
do we take the median
Mansur,
date?
What's a palimpsest?
This has nothing to do with the
You literally have no idea.
The palimpsest.
What's your advice?
Educate me.
Too much.
Educate me. Come on.
So you don't know, you don't know.
No, educate
You don't know.
me.
You don't
Educate
know.
me.
You don't know.
I don't
If I
think you
tell
know
you what it
either.
is.
Educate me.
Do you want me to do it? All right, here we go. A palimpsest is the underlying written text that's underneath an overlaying text on a manuscript. That's what a palimpsest is.
Okay. So
You didn't
wait,
know
wait,
that.
wait. So
You
I
thought-
okay,
oh.
hang on.
Guys,
So,
guys,
wait,
guys.
wait,
Come on.
Wait.
Come on.
Right. Wait. So now.
You were
Good,
mate.
good. So,
Can we now have a debate?
Wait.
Can we now have a
So
debate?
you have
Have I
educated
proved?
enough?
Have I proved that I know enough?
No.
Oh no.
You ready?
I didn't mean.
You ready?
I lost a mastermind with Mansur.
So because now you're ready to prove to me. Now tell me, when it comes to carbon dating, do we take
Guys,
do we take the median
guys.
median date?
This has nothing to do
We
with
could have had.
Do we take the
20-30-minute debate by now. We could have had a debate. I don't care. Look, dude.
do we take the median date?
He knows he's going to lose.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Quran. Let's go to solemn
So
palimpsest.
when,
Now that you know what a palimpsest is.
I watched one of your debates with
Oh,
a
you
Muslim.
did. You did. When?
Listen.
I have a funny feeling it's an attack on me.
I'm just telling you what I
All right,
listened
then,
to.
okay.
So I listened to you talking about how we date through radiocarbon dating. And Chris, and you talked about median dates. So now, can you educate me? Do we take the median dates when it comes to radiocarbon dating?
Why don't you talk about the argument that I made?
Can you educate
That the
me?
Birmingham portfolio
Can you-
has a radiocarbon
Chris,
dating that precedes that
Chris,
of Mohammed.
Chris, this
There you are, that's my
discussion
argument.
will
There you go.
settle that you have no clue what you're talking about. Educate me now on
I made my argument.
do we take the median date,
Let me make my argument.
Chris?
He won't let you make your
When it
argument.
comes to dating, radiocarbon dating,
Right.
do we take the average?
Dude.
Do we take the average?
You're playing this whole.
No,
let's
I'm
attack
asking
each
you.
other's character.
Do you know about it?
You didn't know what a palimpsest was.
When did I say I didn't know?
You literally went, what is it then? And I had to
I
tell
asked-
you and you went,
no,
okay.
No, I asked you to educate me, right?
You didn't know, my
No,
friend.
no, no. I wanted to establish whether you knew. So now, I want to know whether you know about radiocarbon dating.
Right. So I just.
When it comes to, let me ask you again, one more time. When we take the date, okay, last time then.
Can I
Very
make
good.
an argument finally? I want to
Now,
make an argument.
How do we date?
Listen.
How do we
listen,
date?
listen.
Which date do we take?
Listen.
Which date do we take when it comes to radiocarbon dating?
Muzmatch, not Tinder. We've got to
Which
keep
date
it
do we
halal.
take? Which date do we take?
Listen, carbon dating gives you a range, yes?
And which date do we
Right,
take?
listen. You can take,
carefully.
listen.
Listen carefully.
Of that range, yes, there is a earliest range and a latest range. And this is up for debate based on what you're actually measuring. For example, the Birmingham portfolio measured the parchment,
What
but
does it
doesn't
mean?
measure the ink.
What did it mean,
Right,
earlier
so I
and
mean,
later?
you can
What
take,
does it mean?
you can take any point between these two dates. Now, you can take an average if you wanted to. That might be a good
What do
idea.
the scholars do?
Well, you can take an average, that'd be one method.
What do the scholars do?
A scholar will take this into account as one of the accurate ways of
What
dating.
date do the scholars
Listen,
take?
another way of dating manuscripts
No.
is you look at the
What
script.
date do the
Let me
scholars
give you an answer.
Okay, listen.
So, the Hijazi script is one of the earliest forms of Arabic script that we know. That's why when we look at Birmingham portfolio manuscripts we know they're early. Combined with the radiocarbon date, we can give a range. Now, the range by carbon dating is between 570 and 645. That's a problem because if you take the earlier range, that means before Muhammad had a revelation in the Hira cave. That would mean the Islamic narrative is false. That's my argument. Now, address that argument.
What date?
After making us
Listen.
wait 30 minutes.
Wait. Chris.
Do you want to address my
So,
argument?
listen carefully now.
You said you only
So-
can answer it asked once.
No. We have asked
You're
that. Right.
going to go on
So
now.
now-
Go address my argument.
You talked
So
about
I said something, now what's your
Chris,
response?
the earlier range and the later range.
Right.
What do they mean?
there are the possible ranges in which from that test, and the test can be wrong because you can do multiple carbon dating tests.
What does
It also depends. I'm literally explaining what radiocarbon dating to you.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so again, there are different tests that you can do and some will give different results. But the general premise is that you can say that this is evidence for a particular range dating. Yes. You understand that?
So,
right.
Look,
is
clarify to me,
570.
educate me on this.
Right.
So can we take any date from...
Why am I teaching this guy? I just wanted to debate. Now he's like, should I get a PowerPoint? Should I do a PowerPoint presentation for you?
Chris, can we take...
You could take anything from there as being a potentiality, yes.
Yeah. So what about taking the middle range at the middle?
You could do that, yes.
Yeah. What
Right.
do the scholars do?
Listen, it depends, because certain scholars...
Any
will reject
scholar,
it.
any
So,
scholar.
for example, there are Islamic scholars that don't like
any
listen
scholar.
to what I'm saying. So, the Uthmanic copy came from when? Do you know this? Where did Uthman produce his Uthmanic
So when it
copy?
comes to date...
Oh, this is...
When it comes
Go on,
to
go on.
dates, the scholars
Now
take...
you're on mastermind.
Wait.
When
The scholars take the dates...
When was the Uthmanic copy? When was the Uthmanic copy?
Chris, listen. When we date any Quranic manuscripts or any manuscripts ready carbon dating, right?
Why don't you answer my question?
Careful.
When was Uthmanic
Listen,
copy? When
I'm
did Uthmanic...
answering.
Okay, tell me.
Right, listen. Move back a little bit. So, when we have the scholars, do they take the median date at the middle?
Well, no, you can take any point within that range.
I'm asking you, do the
Yes,
scholars...
can take any point.
Chris,
Dude, you still haven't answered my question.
can I clarify my question to you? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
well, you should answer mine.
Is that okay to clarify the question?
Look, I asked you about Uthman.
Right.
Because that was in
Do
part of
the
my
scholars,
response. My
the
response was about
scholars,
Uthman. Do you understand that?
Chris, do the scholars take a median dating?
There are different ways you can do it.
I'm
That's what
asking
saying.
you.
One way is you can take an average.
Name me a scholar who takes the average.
You can do that.
Name me a scholar who does.
You can do that, I'm saying.
Name
But
me a
what
scholar
I'm
who says you
saying is
can.
there are other scholars that take other parts within that date. You
Name me a
understand?
scholar who can...
Dude, that's not my argument.
Wait,
You don't understand what you're saying.
What I'm establishing, Chris, perhaps you didn't know, because this is being on tape. So
Well, you don't know a lot of things. You don't know what palimpsest is.
Wait.
You know when Uthman put his...
I didn't say I didn't know what palimpsest.
No, you waited till I told you, and then you went, oh,
No,
okay.
I wanted you to tell me. You understand radiocarbon dating?
Yeah.
There are scholars who will take one particular
And there are
date.
also scholars that won't.
Wait. I want to talk about...
Dude, you can't make me say something I'm not saying. I'm telling
No,
you...
I want to know,
Okay,
Chris.
can I make...
I want to know which scholar...
No, can't make your argument.
You can, but I want to know first
Oh, I
of all,
can.
which scholar... Please tell me. The whole
I'm
world
not
will
interested on being on your question show.
Which scholar says it's okay to take one date within this range?
Varied opinion about what point you take the date. Do you understand?
Can you take any one date from this?
Within the range, yes. Because it's within the range of the carbon dating. As long as it doesn't contradict other evidence. For example, Hijazi script, yes? We know the Hijazi script. Listen, no, I need to give an answer.
Before you
I
answer...
can't give an answer to you.
Before you answer...
No, let me answer. Okay, so
answer.
the
Please
Uthmanic copy, you know when that came about?
Educate me. Right, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to let you... I don't think you know.
Carry on.
And I'm
Tell
sick of having to like...
Tell me.
I'm sick of
Tell
being
me.
said I don't know
Tell
things.
me, what is it?
And then, no, I'm not doing that. I already told you what a
Okay,
palimpsest is.
so you don't want to
Just
tell
so
me?
you don't know.
You don't want to tell me, that's fine.
All right,
So
fine,
let me-
I will tell you.
Okay.
Go on,
No,
you tell me.
No. You tell me.
It's his own religion.
Okay. So now.
He won't tell
so
me his
now,
own religion.
Chris.
All right, okay.
So
let's
which
remove-
one date
So
from this range?
because of the date of the Uthmanic copy, this is difficult because it falls outside that range given by the carbon dating. This makes it problematic because if you take any point within that, you're now having to say that there was a copy of the Quran that predates the Uthmanic copy, which does not accord with the traditional Islamic view. Now, address my argument.
I'm going to address your argument. Firstly, how can I address an argument which is faulty? Let me tell you
Why is it faulty? It took us half an hour to get
Look,
here.
I'm going to tell you why it's faulty. You have just demonstrated that you have no understanding of what radiocarbon dating is. Now let me tell you why.
Dude, you didn't know what a podcast was. Like, why are we doing these attacks? Why are you attacking?
Wait, I'm
Why are you
gonna demonstrate
attacking
to
my character?
I'm not attacking your character.
Logic. Use
I'm
logic and
demonstrating
reason.
you're ignorant about it.
Right, so again, attacking my
That's
character.
not attacking your character.
You're literally
So if you demonstrate I don't know something about something, it doesn't mean you're attacking my character.
Of course it does. You won't debate me. I don't know enough. That's an attack on my character.
No, that's not.
Address my... Yes, it.
So here it is. So now, so tell me again, name me one scholar that you remember, or you can pull up, that can take one date. Let's say they take, okay, I'm going to take the date.
Do you know the ranges?
Sorry.
Do you know the ranges?
I'm speaking now. One scholar who can say, I'm going to take the date of 650. Date of that manuscript. Just one. Wait. Remember what he said? You can take. Right. Wait.
Do you know what the are?
Imagine you have 500
My
and
God.
700.
It never answers. Has it actually answered the question?
Chris, I'm answering.
Okay.
Give me the range. No.
I'm not good. Now he's asking me for the range.
Okay, let me give you the range.
Okay, yeah.
Hypothetically, if you have a manuscript dated between 500 and 700.
No, tell me the range of the carbon dating of the Birmingham folio.
Listen, Chris.
Tell me the date.
Listen, I'm establishing principles.
Establishing principles.
Yes. So if you have a manuscript that has a range between 500 and 700,
That's not the carbon dating. Go on, tell me. Do you know carbon dating? Do you know this topic?
what do you think?
Well, given that you didn't know what a palimpsest was,
When did I
given
say
that
you know what palimpsest?
I had to tell you.
No, I asked you to define it. Does that mean I
Basically,
didn't know? When a teacher asks you what is a palimpsest, the teacher doesn't know.
the teacher has no idea. He has to ask the student for the answer.
Okay, Chris, now, when you have a manuscript, give me a dating of any manuscript. Give me the range of any
I
manuscript.
think you can't answer the question.
Hang on, give me the dating of any range. Give me any range. Go on.
I'm not going to tell you. You should already know because you're supposed to be a
Listen,
higher person.
I am going to demonstrate
Given that you
to you.
attacked my character.
Chris,
Don't just
if
say
you
my
have
name.
if you have a range,
Don't say my name. Tell me the range.
Chris,
Tell me the folio. Tell me. Tell me.
a scholar.
Look at those cameras. Hold them. Don't get your phone out.
No, I'm
You're
gonna
supposed to
show
know.
you. I'm gonna
Oh,
show
no,
you
he's
a
got
video.
his phone
I'm
out.
going to show you a video. Do you know a video?
He's got his phone out now. Because I've been telling him, listen, are you,
Wait,
what are you
wait.
Googling? What are you Googling?
I'm not Googling.
What are you doing?
So now, this is about radiocarbon dating, people. Look, listen. Silence,
Is this
please,
your
silence.
video?
No, it's not my video. Scholars. So now, I'm going to
So
show
he's
you-
appealing to scholars because he himself admits he is lacking in knowledge.
I am going to
But
now,
apparently I don't know enough.
Chris, for the record, I'm
Mate,
going to
you're on
get
a bad day
the
today.
scholars
Bad
refuting
day
you. I'm going to get the scholars refuting you.
Green, what?
Refuting
That's
your
what I have.
ignorance for
I've
radiocarbon
always said is that here are the dates for the particular carbon dating of the Birmingham
Just
folio. I'm not telling you because I don't think you
Oh,
know.
you don't remember?
I've literally said it like 3 times.
What
so
was
far.
it? What was it?
You don't know.
No, tell me
He
what
doesn't know
was
the
it.
dating.
Okay.
But the dating does not cover that. In other words, if you accept the carbon dating, you have to accept that there were copies of the Quran that came about before the Uthmanic recension. That is my argument.
In
Address
response-
that. Now,
I'll
address
I'll
it.
address it.
Finally.
Listen.
Finally.
What I'm addressing is the principle.
Do I know what the...
Chris, I'll address it. Firstly, the manuscripts that you're referring to
What
is
are
which
they?
one?
The
Which
Birmingham,
one?
the Birmingham, of what surahs? I've said it many times. What surahs?
Surah 20?
Yes, that's one. What are the others?
Ah, Surah 20 is dated. Right.
What's the others?
Do you know?
What's the others?
Do you know which labs they're dated in?
I don't think he actually knows.
Okay. Do you know which labs dated them?
Dude, you...
Dude,
I keep asking him.
they
What
were
do you
dated.
know?
They were dated by
What
Leon.
surahs are they? What surahs?
Leon.
What
Wait.
surahs are they?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay, tell me now.
Hang on.
Yeah.
The manuscripts that we are talking about,
Yep.
dated by Oxford.
Okay, that's not an answer to my question.
Why not in Arab?
Who dated them?
That's not an answer to my question. What surahs are we talking
You tell
about?
me.
Nine days.
Tell me. Tell me.
Nine days,
Why
guys.
don't you answer the question?
Is this the best you have?
You've got to learn.
It's going. Yeah, yes, you got to learn.
Tell me.
I have already mentioned many times, Mr. Bates. Rewind the camera.
Which surah was it? Okay. So, you know what? I will find out later when I rewind. But what I want to ask you is, which labs dated it? Chris, I'm asking you a question. Which labs dated it?
Why is it I have to jump through your hoop? But when I ask you questions about it, you don't know.
In the principle of radiocarbon dating, do you know it's important to know which labs
I
dated
think
it?
you've shown that you yourself are actually not interested in this topic.
Do you know it's important to know which labs dated it?
I have to tell you a concept was. You don't know when the Uthmanic copy came about. You don't know the particular surahs which method in the Birmingham portfolio.
Did I ever say I didn't know?
I'm asking you, do you know?
Did I ask you? I do know.
You do know, then tell me.
Before I tell you,
Okay, he's going to tell me. He's going to tell me.
before I tell him,
Okay, he's going to tell me.
is it important to know which labs dates which manuscripts?
Is it important to know which surahs are in the Birmingham portfolio?
How does a content of a surah determine the age of a manuscript? Tell me.
No, because those particular surahs have particular content in it which copies previous stories found in other documents. Anyway, there's an answer.
Listen.
Now,
Even if it's
answer
surah
my
8,
question, now
even,
answer yours.
even if it was surah 18, even if it's surah 18,
And which one?
hey, listen. What I'm telling you,
Tell me the surahs.
whenever we are dating
He's got
a
2 of them so
manuscript-
far. Look at
Hold
that
on.
going.
Whenever we're dating manuscripts, I'm asking you, is it important to know which labs dated it and why?
Why is that relevant to what I've asked you?
I'm going to tell you. Because if you have a very bad laboratory, and it doesn't have the right quality standards,
Do you reject the carbon dating?
hey, listen. If you have a bad lab and it has no good quality standards, then this dating, the results will be rejected by
Do
scholars.
you reject the results?
Listen,
Very simple
the
question.
results.
Do you reject the results?
I'm answering. I'm going to answer.
Mate, you've been answering this entire time, but you still haven't answered.
If you're patient enough, I'll tell you.
Well, how long?
So-
It's been like, how long has it been?
Be patient then. So we have.
What? Oh, you know what?
Okay. So now, a particular manuscript, please, a particular
violence
manuscript,
of
for example, of Spanner, is dated.
Yeah.
And it has several date ranges. Do you know which labs dated it?
I know about the Sana manuscript. And
Which
I know
labs
about
did
the
it?
rough dating of which is
Do you
given.
know?
Why is that relevant?
Because, as I mentioned to you, the quality of doing the experiment.
Do you reject the dating?
Scholars do.
So you do.
Scholars do.
I want to know your argument.
My argument is,
Okay, finally.
the scholars will reject the dating if it's not coming from a reputable lab with good quality standards.
So you
For example,
reject the Birmingham portfolio
listen,
dating?
For example, when we dated the Sana manuscripts by Chris, I'm telling you,
not-
then something
I said
now.
yes or
Then
no.
something now.
Say
By
yes or no,
Oxford,
Mansur.
by Zurich, by Lyon,
Mate, it doesn't matter. Answer my
by
question.
Arizona. Do you know what scholars say? The scholars say, scholars say there are dating produced by, for example, Lyon, which gives you an earlier dating is due to contamination. Were you aware of that?
Are you? Well, you were aware of the palms.
Are you
You're
aware
not
of
aware
that?
of the Uthmanic the time
Are
that
you
came
aware of
about.
what I'm saying?
You're not aware of the particular source.
Chris, are you aware of what I
What
just
is
told
the?
you?
Okay, your argument then is that you reject the dating of the
No,
Birmingham
not me
portfolio.
personally. The scholars.
He's not even making an
The scholars-
argument. What are you even arguing about?
The scholars. Now,
So do you accept what those say?
carefully,
Do you accept what they say?
carefully, Chris. So now tell me, on the radiocarbon
The slowest
dating,
falling off a cliff I've ever seen.
radiocarbon dating, can we take the date in the middle?
Why are you excessive?
Can we take the date in the middle?
You can take the date at any point between the two ranges.
Even the middle, yeah?
If you wanted to, you can take an average, maybe that's a metric.
Right.
Right.
So good. So now this is what I'm learning from you is this.
Okay, and you know how that relates to my argument.
Sorry, I'll tell you why. So now Chris is telling us we can have a date in the middle or even an average to take the debate. Now,
Probably.
according to the scholars, what is the probability of that date being correct if it's exactly in the middle, average? Give me a probability.
My point is that you only accept the carbon dating as a probability term from that metric alone of the dating of that particular object.
Do you know what a binomial distribution is?
Do you know what quantum? Mate, I can ask you
Do you
many
know?
questions.
Do you know?
Pointless.
Do you know?
When was Uthman's copy? When was Uthman's copy? Tell me the year of Uthman's copy.
Let me now show to you.
Don't get your phone out. Don't get your phone
You know what
out.
this is, right?
Yes.
This is a curve described as what?
Standard deviation couple.
Right, standard deviation.
Right, okay, thank you.
What is the probability that a particular data can
Take the one with the...
Wait.
Do you know the extremes of a standard deviation
Wait.
curve? Do you understand this?
I'm going to ask you a question, right?
Dude, why are you asking me questions? Why don't you just debate me?
Is the radiocarbon dating using this principle?
You understand?
Do we radiocarbon date manuscript using this principle?
What I understand is this.
Answer the question.
Listen, you can take any range of
you
the
answer the
date.
question?
I literally am, but you don't like my answer.
Can we take, do we use this principle first of all?
You can if you want. According to scholars.
Oh,
You can if you want.
okay, good.
But you can also
Take the
pick
point.
any date between the early and the ending date as one metric for the dating of the object.
Okay,
Do you understand? Based
no, I
on the
don't.
command-
No, I don't. Let me tell you why I don't. Let me tell you why I don't.
Why-
If you understood anything about stats in this binomial distribution curve, wait.
I don't know. It's
Carbon
going to
dating.
statistics now. I thought it was about radio carbon dating.
It is.
Right, okay.
Precisely.
So I gave you the 2 dates, which you've forgotten.
Wait.
Anyway,
No, I've not finished yet.
I've not even started.
What is the probability?
I've made an argument, you can't answer.
Okay, it's okay. Chris,
Is this actually
what is the probability of an actual date of a manuscript falling at the middle? Probability from 0% to 100%.
I don't need to know that. All I need to
No,
know,
I'm asking you, what
all
does
I
scholar
need
say?
to know
What does
is that the
scholar say?
radiocarbon dates that are given are the more likely probability that it falls within those dates. So you can take a point within those dates and it will be acceptable in scholarship. Now,
I am
let's talk
saying-
about the consequences of that.
I am saying-
Let's talk about the consequences of that.
Yes.
Listen,
No.
this is my argument. This is my, listen. My argument. The dates that are given is very rude. Very rude.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Carry on.
No, that's not bad. Listen. So the problem is the Uthmanic copy, when Uthman standardized the Quran into a Qurayshi dialect, you know that one place it's relevant. The problem is, and I've said it for times now, the dating when Islam says that happened falls outside this range. Do you understand? That's a problem because that means you have Qurans that were compiled before the Uthmanic Codex. This is why Islamic scholars will basically say this is a problem. We don't want to say that this came before the Uthmanic period because otherwise we have to say that Quran existed before Uthman's time. That's the issue. Now listen to his amazing rebuttal. There is an attack on my character or asking me a question.
Now, listen to it. Principle of radiocarbon dating.
No.
Oh my God. Answer
Do you reject what I've said?
Are you going to allow me to respond?
Do you reject what I say? Do you reject what I've said?
Is he now rude? Interrupting? Is he rude?
I just want to know.
What do you call him rude? You are.
Calm
Look at it
down.
outstanding.
Calm down.
Thank you.
Will you respond?
Steve,
Don't even give him a chance.
now
to
we
answer.
know which side you're on.
And you refuse
Good.
to answer any
Now,
of
I'm
these.
going
Will you
to
address
answer.
my argument?
I'm going to answer. Don't interrupt.
But first of all, will you accept what I've said?
No.
Do you
Don't
accept what I've said?
interrupt. Don't interrupt.
You don't get to
Do you
So
accept what I've said?
because you say, because
don't answer any of his questions.
see you later. So now you're saying, in relation to the question
Try
I
answering some of his questions. Try answering some of his questions, man. And don't be so arrogant.
Right.
Try
Okay.
answering a question.
You asked.
Don't answer questions.
You asked in relation to the question that I asked you, right? Remember the question I asked you?
I made
So,
my argument.
Okay, your argument is
Yes, okay.
because this dating
Yes.
falls outside the
Yes,
range that Islamic tradition says when.
So I'm just going to go on.
I don't want
I'm
you to.
encouraging you.
I want you to.
Okay, I was doing it to
listening.
encourage you. All right.
I don't want your encouragement. Thank
Well,
you.
you're having difficulty
Right.
saying it.
Oh yes. Oh, difficulty. So
listen,
because
listen.
your argument is this, because the dating range out earlier than even the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
That's not my argument. That's not my argument.
Because the dating falls outside the range when traditionally the Uthmanic manuscript is believed to have been written, Islamic scholars are having a doubt about it and responding differently. My counter response is, who cares about Islamic scholarship? We are
That's
interested
brilliant.
in,
I
listen,
love that. Yeah.
we are interested in,
Yeah.
We
Who
are-
cares about Islamic scholarship?
we are interested in what exactly scholars and experts on the subject say. So if you have a
There is Islamic experts, right?
why are you interrupting?
there are Islamic
no,
experts.
why are you interrupting me? Why are you interrupting me?
Because I'm
Don't be
adding
rude.
to your
No, I
argument.
don't want you to. Patient and listen, don't interrupt. Okay? Be civilized. Right, thank you. Thank you. So now we have people. Right. Scholars have given their response on the datings, which perhaps you didn't know. Did they talk about, let me ask you now in return, did they talk about Do we need to look at the labs that dated it? How accuracy, how precise? Two things, accuracy and precision.
Okay.
Wait, I'm not finished. When I finish, you answer. Accuracy and precision of the data, right? Accuracy and precision of the data. The case, what dating do they scientifically because of the issues at hand? Not because, oh, traditional dating of Uthmanic manuscript somehow, no, I'm talking about the dating itself using radiocarbon dating principles. So when I asked you, you said, let me finish. When we have, what about distribution? Get a clarification.
You know that doesn't solve the issue I'm talking about,
It
right?
does, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because that demonstrates how much you know about the subject matter. So, what is the probability of a data point, like a certain date of a manuscript?
Okay.
Let me finish. I'm not finished. I want you to hear my question.
I love to debate different grounds.
I want you to listen to the question and then answer, right? Say this is a date range of a Quranic manuscript, right? Listen, I don't want you to say anything. I want you to listen. Imagine that is the dating of the Birmingham manuscript, a date range.
Between what dates?
Wait. Why are you talking when I'm saying don't talk?
I want to know.
No, I'm going to let you speak when I finish. Does that make sense to you?
This is how you lead people into giving
No. Because I want to ask a specific question without any
You want to
interruption.
lead to a specific thing.
You're not willing to answer it.
So, according to scholars who knows about carbon dating, what is the probability? Carefully. What is the probability of a data point, like a range, not a range, a date a particular manuscript was scribed, if they were to take the point here, the middle, yeah? What do you in the middle? No, in the middle of the curve, what it's called?
I didn't take, what do you call it?
Do you know what it is?
I didn't take statistics. I'm not an expert in statistics.
Good. So when
Right.
people... Okay.
So how is that relevant to anything I just said?
Stop. I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
When we radiocarbon date Quranic manuscripts,
Right, okay.
they fall in this kind of curves.
Okay.
Now, do scholars take a point like in the middle of the two dates? You said some scholars do.
Yes.
Right. I am telling you now, and telling everyone else, no scholar, no, hear me word, N-O, no, zilch, zero scholar on planet Earth would take the middle date. Do you know why? You don't know why. Let me tell you now.
You know that's literally my argument,
Wait,
right?
yep.
Literally.
My argument was you haven't got a clue about radiocarbon dating, and establishing that. The probability...
No, you're talking about standard deviation.
The probability of a date point, a date to fall in the middle is not 100%, it's not 50%.
I still don't even know if you reject the actual dating.
Yes, listen, I'm educating you now.
Dude,
I'm educating
what is
you.
the actual date?
I am educating
What is the
you.
date?
So
What
let
is
me
the
finish.
dates,
Let me
Mansur?
finish.
Mansur, what are the dates?
The probability, let me now show you something. The probability a particular manuscript falls within this date, two dates, right?
Yeah.
One on the left, on the right, is how much?
I don't know, you tell me. Is it more probable than not?
Do you know?
Is it more probable than not?
No, I'm asking you the question. Do you know?
It is more probable than not that it falls within the dating.
What is the probability?
Why? Because that's the point of radiocarbon dating. Namely, that you give a range based off the amount of carbon, yes,
When we
that has
range
slowly
it,
been
Chris,
radiating
now
from the
I'm telling
object. Listen,
When we
let
range
me
it-
explain it to you. I've been doing this for time. Listen. So listen, based off those dates,
Wait.
you would then be able to say with more probability than not that it
Wait.
falls within that date.
When you have this
This
curve,
is what scholars do.
When you have
There
this
you are.
curve, do you know what 1 sigma and 2 sigma is?
Do I need to know?
Do you know? Either you know,
Do you know the dates?
do you know the 1 sigma
Do you
and
know
2
the
sigma?
dates?
Do you know the 1
He
sigma and 2
doesn't know
sigma
the dates.
variation?
I've mentioned it many times in
Do
this
you
debate.
know the 1 sigma and 2 sigma
Do you
dates?
know the dates? Forming a portfolio.
I am asking. 1 sigma, look. Okay, read it.
I don't know.
He asked you a question.
What does 2 sigma
Mansur,
say?
I don't think you know. I think that's the ultimate honesty.
Look,
I think
when
what
we
you've
look
done
at-
is you've Googled
Chris,
standard deviation.
I didn't Google it, my
course
friend.
you-
We have a whole
you put-
paper.
you put a graph
we have
up
a
on
whole
it.
paper on
Oh.
Islamic awareness.
You're an expert of statistics
Hey,
now.
listen, let
No,
me
you're
tell
not.
you. If you go to IslamicAwareness.org, you'll find a paper called Radiocarbon Dating of
So they know, but not you.
And
So you doesn't know.
And we laid out all the the necessary principles that you need to understand radio carbon
Okay,
dating.
but do you actually
Now,
disagree with
wait,
the dating?
Wait.
Do you disagree
Next
with the
question.
dating?
Next question, Chris.
Oh,
on this
okay,
point,
tell me.
on this point, when we talk about 1 sigma variation and 2 sigma variation, let me tell you what it means. We have the probability of getting this particular. Let me finish.
This is so he can look smart rather than
Let me
actually
finish.
addressing my
Let me finish. I'm educating you something that you
If
thought
you
you knew.
don't tell me within a few minutes, I'm just going to say that you don't know. And you don't
Chris,
know.
Chris,
And on camera, you've been shown not
the
to know.
probability.
Just tell me.
The
Very
probability.
Simple.
the
Here's some
pro-
basic questions for understanding whether
probability.
Mansur knows what he's talking about.
proba-
Number one,
Chris,
how many
Chris,
surahs and what surahs are there in the
Chris,
Birmingham portfolio?
Chris,
Number two, when is the dating, the early dating and the late dating for the Birmingham manuscript portfolio? Tell me. Number three, when was the Uthmanic copy issued? When was it compiled? If you don't know the answers to those questions, you don't know what you're talking
remember
about.
the discussion? The discussion.
Answer. Give me an answer. An answer.
Okay, Chris.
If you don't do it in 10 seconds, I'm going to say you don't know.
You can say whatever you like, Chris.
No,
So,
no, no.
wait.
Mansur,
So
that's
the
all.
It's the
discussion
Dower
was-
Shuffle.
Right, Chris. Okay.
It's the Dower Shuffle.
Okay, thank you. So the discussion was.
Are you going to ask me more questions?
I'm going to stick to what I was asking. So the
Which
discussion
has
was.
gone nowhere.
I'm speaking now.
You haven't, that has nothing to do with my
I
argument.
am speaking.
You understand?
I am speaking.
You understand, no, mate. I'm
Chris,
done with this now.
the discussion was
Yeah.
whether you know anything about the subject matter of
Right, and we've identified that
So
you also
far-
don't know lots of things.
Look. You can identify anything about me. No problem. The question
my character.
is whether you know anything about
Answer these three questions. Three questions. Three questions. Just answer them. It's very simple. It's very simple.
Okay. So the probability. Look at the hecklers. The
He won't
probability.
answer.
Okay.
He
go
doesn't
ahead.
know. He doesn't
I'm
know
through
that.
now.
Oh, you're answering.
The
Okay.
probability of any
No,
manuscript.
that's not my answer. That's not the questions I asked you.
I interrupt.
What are the
I
answers?
interrupt.
Because you haven't
I
answered.
answer the way I like.
You're not actually answering them. He wanted to go back to probability.
The probability of any
No,
manuscript.
that's not what I asked.
Look at this.
Answer the
individual.
questions I asked. You
Chris.
didn't know what a palimpsest was.
Chris.
You didn't know.
Did I say I didn't know?
I had to tell you. You were like, oh, you
No.
tell me, you tell me.
No,
You
did I say I didn't know?
You had to ask
Did
me
I
to
say I
answer.
didn't know?
I asked him if he could
Did
tell
I
me.
say I
He
didn't
refused.
know?
Like in the same
Did
way
I
you
say I
refused to
didn't
tell
know?
me now.
Right. So now,
Okay, come on. Tell me the date.
Chris,
Tell me the date.
Chris,
Tell me
as
the
I'm
dating.
establishing.
What is the dating?
Okay, I'm going to carry on talking anyway if you don't let me answer.
No, if you're not answering,
If you're
fine.
not going to let me
Then
answer,
you
I'm
refute
going
the
to talk
debate.
anyway.
Then you have
So I was
lost the
establishing-
debate.
Hang on.
You've lost the debate because you can't
Well
answer
done
the
to
three
you.
questions.
Kudos to you. Good. So now those of you who are listening, and you, when we talk about radiocarbon dating, the
It's
reasons...
given up. It's given up.
Okay, see you
It's given
later.
up.
See you later.
You don't know.
See you later.
No, you see you later.
No, you see you later.
No.
To all those cameras who are watching, right? Okay, bye-bye.
You can move.
Okay, bye-bye. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
You have not
Okay,
explained and
so
answered
now
my
I'm going to
question.
explain to you. Okay, please.
Answer my question.
So now,
Very
when we
basic.
talk about radiocarbon dating,
Nothing to
the
do with
reason why we have a curve and ranges is because we want to know the probability of a particular manuscript falling within range. Because when we look at actual dating
Okay,
of...
so do you reject then the actual dating?
Okay, can we just move forward here?
What are you doing? What are you doing? I thought we were having a debate. Mansur, I thought we were having a debate. Mansur, what are you doing? So why are you telling the cameras to go away? Why are you telling the cameras to go away? What's he doing? What's he doing?
You got no sign.
Wait. That's the days. They can't answer, so they run away.
Running away.
Three basic questions about Islam. No answers.
Run away.
No answers. Didn't know what a palimpsest was.
Okay.
He knows nothing.
Nothing.
Jay Smith wants to talk to you, Mansur.
He can only talk to girls.
He can only talk to new Christians.
He wants to debate
No
girls.
knowledge.
Wow,
Come to Bailey, Mansur, anytime.
Ooh, that's your best IE, bro.
Best are you.
All right, Chris. Wrap
up.
What kind of debate was that?
This is an example of what happens at Speaker's Corner. There are people here that prey on people who don't have much knowledge about their faith, and they would get cameras and they record it for their channel. This isn't honesty. This isn't in the spirit of debate. It isn't in the spirit of finding the truth. It's in the spirit of clicks. It's in the spirit of YouTube likes and subscribers. That's all they care about. On their channels, on SC Dawa, on all the others. That's all they're for. Here we actually care about the truth. I didn't want to attack his character. I called him an idiot because he is an idiot. I have to be honest. His argument is wrong, independent of that. But my point is this: we are willing to address these points. We're willing to have conversations. We're willing to be honest and sincere. We won't hide from you. We won't hide our religion from you. We won't tell you lies like there's only one Quran. We will like you can't beat your wife in Islam. You can beat your wife in Islam. It's Surah 4, Ayah 34. These things are a disgrace. Ladies and gentlemen, come to the truth. Christianity is the truth. Embrace logic, reason, common sense. Don't embrace these da'is who do it for the clicks. They're liars and the lowest people here. I want truth. I want dialogue, I want open discussion, I want to talk about the meaningful things, not trying to do ad hominem. That's all you get. Come with Jesus, man. Jesus is the way the truth and life.
Messages to those Muslims that have just already watched this debate. Any messages to those Muslims?
Who watched this debate?
Yeah.
Think about what you saw. Think about what you saw. I didn't move. I was having to continue as long as you would address my 3 questions. You can Google these at home, Muslims, and many of you know the answers to them. But for some reason, he didn't know. The reason he didn't know is because he had Googled beforehand specific weird questions about standard deviation. Standard deviation doesn't apply here because my argument was that the range that the scholars give falls outside the time of the Uthmanic recension. That is, the time that Uthman compiled his Quran. When was that? 652. He had no idea. He had no idea. I waited for him to tell me. He wouldn't tell me.
What were the 3 questions at the end?
The 3 questions was this. When was the Uthmanic Codex compiled? It was 652. He didn't know. I said, what are the surahs of the Birmingham manuscripts? It's Surah 18, 19, and 20. He didn't know. I asked him again. I said this. I said, what are the dates? Tell me the early and the late date range of the carbon dating. He doesn't bloody know. He has no idea. He has no idea. Guys, you need to be better. If you're going to be people who talk about Islam, know what you're talking about and know your religion. Or better yet, pick a better religion. Pick a religion of the truth, and that is Jesus Christ. That is the way, the truth, and the life.
Excuse me, I agree with the Uthmani period, what you're saying when the Quran was compiled. I know that. I know my history. So ask away then.
What do you want to do?
No, what you're saying about the Uthmani period when the Quran was compiled.
Yes, you know about that.
Official version
652.
of it, with the grammatical help.
Yes, and one